Alright, this is going to be making a key or originating a key for a 98 plus Chrysler Dodge Jeep product. We're going to read the lock with the scope. And what we're doing is we're putting the scope all the way into the back, pushing all the wafers down and pulling back and letting that pin pop up. And on these pins, 98 plus, there's a number stamped right on the thing. It's going to be hidden a little bit. You only see like a triangle of a 4 or an upside down 3, but that's what you're looking for. You also want to gauge by the size to correlate with that number. You know, sometimes you'll see it go really high, that's a 4, just a little bit higher, it's 3, 2, 1's just barely right at it. So we're going to scope this out. I'm going to show you how to write it down because you're scoping from the back to the front. So when you transpose your numbers, you have to write your numbers from back to front, left to right. Okay? So we're going to put the scope in here. I'm going to read it back, all the way back in. That first one's a 3. The next one looks like a 3, 2. And the last one looks like a 2. So we write it right to left. So 3, 3, 2. Okay? Now on this it's really simple. There's an odd side and an even side on these. There's 4 cuts on one side and 3 cuts on the other side. So these are your odd cuts. Alright? Only positions 2 through 8 are in the door lock. Number 1's in the ignition, you progress that. So when you get the door done, then you cut it a 1. If it doesn't work a 1, you cut it a 2, you cut it a 3, you cut it a 4 till it works. Okay? So then we read the top, same way as we just read the bottom. Okay? And those are the cuts I got for the top. I put it in, here, let me show you. Put the needle in, I flip it over to the top pins, go into the back, push those all the way up. The very last one is really small, and I can't see a number on it, so I'm going to just guess it's a 1, and I can progress up. The next one's huge, so that's 4, and it's got a 4 stamped on it. Next one, that's a 4, 2. The very last one is a 2, and I can see the 2 stamped. I can see most of a whole number 2 stamped on it. So again, I write my numbers down left to right. Right to left, I'm sorry. 1, 4, 4, 2. Okay, and these are my even cuts. So the simple thing to remember is, if you've got 4, that's an even number. Those are your even cuts. If you've got 3 on the bottom, those are your odd cuts. That's for all the 98 plus Chryslers. They're going to be just like this. Okay, so we transpose them over to make a whole key. So you got your even cuts, 2, 4, 4, 1. Your odd cuts, 2, 3, 3. You take it back to the key machine, and you make number 1 a 1, and you cut the whole key, bring it back, try it in the door, impression if you got to a little bit. These do not impression very well, but they will if you're close. Once you have the key done for the door, then you go to the ignition, and you try the first cut. If that doesn't work, then you go a 2, a 3, a 4. And that's how you make the key for the 98 plus Chryslers.